Hi everybody, Coach Susan here with Big on Results Coaching. I help people that are in transition or stuck to live a life of joy and prosperity. I'm here for your Manifestation Monday video on the topic of decisions. Well, we're always making decisions. We can make a decision what time we're going to wake up, what we're going to eat for breakfast, what we're going to do in the course of the day, what we're going to do in our future, where we're going to go on vacation, what we're going to name our kids, and even what vehicles we're going to drive, what vehicles are we going to purchase, where are we going to live, what job are we going to take, are we going to accept this one, are we going to accept this job? So decisions are everywhere. So when we talk about decisions, then we need to really think about how we can make the best decision and what that looks like. So if you are going to make a decision pertaining to work, pertaining to something that has to do with contracts or numbers or something that's more analytical, you're going to make that decision with your headspace. And if you're going to make a personal decision, then you want to make that from your heart space. So at times people get confused. Well, I need to do this because this is the best decision. So when we are confused about how do we make a really good decision, and it's something that's of a personal nature, and we all of a sudden make a decision that's analytical, but it's a personal decision. So anything that is personal should be in your heart space. So how do you know what you want to do, and how do you know what that should look like? So if you're going to make a decision from your heart space, you need to evaluate in a manner that looks like, ask yourself, is this decision that I'm going to make, is this going to expand me? Am I going to be happy down the road with this? Is this decision about growth? So ask yourself those questions. Is this something that I'll end up regretting in my life? So when you ask yourself those questions, then those are going to be ones that you're going to conduct from your heart space. So you want to listen to what's in your heart. You know, you want to not override things by your brain. So how do you know that you're making a bad decision, or maybe one that's not really congruent with what you're looking to do? You got to ask yourself, is this decision that I'm going to be making, is it going to be safe? Is it only going to provide a temporary fix for a situation? So when you do that, then that should automatically tell you that what you're doing is you've switched it from your heart space to your mind space. Bad decision. Bad decision. But if for any reason that you do get confused and you make a heart space decision out of your mind, you have the ability to make a correction as long as you do it swiftly. Because otherwise, you can completely go off track of what your life path is and those beautiful things that are for you, but you can't override it. So if you're making decisions about contract, brain space, about numbers, brain space, about investing, brain space, right? But personal nature, the names of your children, all of these things that are personal to you. Remember, you need to ask yourself, am I going to be expanding from this? Am I going to be growing? Will this help my future? Will I look back in time and regret that? Remember, when we get confused and it's a heart space situation that we're making analytical, no. It can completely derail your life. Don't do that. That is where people live in regret. A situation might be that somebody's making a decision and they decide to work, and just keep working, and they're missing milestones in their children's lives, or perhaps, it has to do with another type of relationship, or they decide not to go to a special holiday event because they're busy working. Bad decision. Those are those things that you're going to look back later in life and reflect and go, whoa, that was a bad decision. Bad decision. Another bad decision might be that you have an opportunity to do something, but you're so focused and like, okay, well, I need to put in the overtime, or I need to make more money for this. Although that's important sometimes, but it's not important all the time. So you don't want to ever override anything that you're going to reflect back and go, wow, you know what? I super regret that. Bad decision. But if you do make a bad decision, recognize it immediately and try to correct that, make that correction, make amends for that, modify that, recognize that, look at that, and don't be a repeat offender. So go back and take a look at that, okay? So on our heart space, we just need to keep in our checks and our balances, right? We need to be appropriate. We need to know that we want what we want and we feel what we feel. Our intuition is very active here. You know that old saying, follow your heart. Your heart will never deceive you. That is true. Always follow your heart. Let that guide you. Don't make a heart space decision with your brain, and don't make a brain decision with your heart, okay? So a situation might be that you have the opportunity for advancement with another company, but you're so in love with all those people that are at that office that you don't take this advancement, that you don't recognize the opportunity that's before you. And perhaps maybe you don't recognize that that advancement was because you came as far as you could. So that timeline's going to end so that you can go forward and be more prosperous, more economically sound. There's a lot of different elements that you want to look for. So we just need to make good decisions from the right place. So knowing how you need to do that is kind of essential. So you really need to put your needs first. What do you think? What do you feel? Would that make you sad if you made this bad decision? Would you be expanded? Would you be about growth? Are you going to look back and regret? Yes. Those are the decisions that you need to ask yourself. Never be afraid to make a decision because you're fearful. You're scared. Maybe you don't know what that looks like down the road. But if you feel that this is the good decision, this is a really good decision, you need to respond to that. If you are walking on a tightrope and you're like, okay, this is over here and this polarity here and it's out of whack, out of balance, then you do nothing. You make no decisions. You make no decisions. And that's before you make the decision. If you make the decision and it's a bad decision, go back. Go back and correct it and to make it the best decision that you can. You can't always fix bad decisions. But you know what you can do? Learn from it. Learn from it. Do not be a repeat offender. And definitely don't be a repeat offender over and over and over again. Stop that bad pattern. Learn from it. Move forward. Move yourself to growth. Are you growing if you do this? Are you going to expand if you do this? Those are the things you want to look for. That's in your heart space. Now, we're not going to use our heart space. Oh, I want to buy stock in this certain company or this certain element here because they just give me warm fuzzies. No, you want to make an analytical decision to where your money can really work for you. So know the difference. Know it. They are two different areas. We do not make decisions the same way for both areas. So recognize that. Sometimes we feel so stressed that we just throw in the towel and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm just so stressed out and I'm going to make this hasty decision. Do not do that. You really need to know where you're making that decision from and where you should be making that decision from. And do not get confused about it. Well, if you need some assistance with that, or maybe you just need some support to know that you're making a good decision for yourself, I'm Coach Susan with Big on Results Coaching, and I want to help you with that. If you have too much static noise and other people are chiming in and influencing you and confusing you more than you already are, yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to help you with that. You have an amazing, amazing future. So make good decisions for yourself. Until next Monday.